stand for the pledge. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Brew?
Here.
Mr. Babalani?
Here.
Dr. Hayes?
Here.
Mr. Menegini?
Here.
Mr. Pop?
We need a motion to excuse Mr. Pop.
I'll make a motion to excuse Mr. Pop. Support.
Roll call.
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Approval of manifest 2016-14 in the amount of $520,680.99. Okay. I guess we're doing the minutes first. Approval of the minutes of the last meeting. Any additions or corrections?
I make a motion, we approve the regular meeting notes for July 18, 2016.
Support.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Now approval of manifest 2016-4 in the amount of $528,680.99. Any questions, Mrs. Brew?
Yeah, I have a couple. On page 4 of 7, under the electric fund, down towards the bottom, it says hydro rebuild unit number 2. I see you took that out of the electric fund. Wasn't the insurance supposed to pay for that?
Yeah, we expense it, and then we submit the expenses, paid expenses to the insurance.
And then the
Then we
money
get
goes back
reimbursed,
into
yeah.
it? Okay. And then how's that project going?
Well, we've delayed a little bit because there's some gaps in the couplings, and so they're trying to rebalance, and it's holding us up a couple days.
So it's not completed yet?
It's not completed, no.
Okay.
Any other questions?
That's it.
Mark?
I got a couple, Doc. Ray, right in the center of the administration reimbursement for MAC, Regis, gas, lunch, that's in Marquette? Is that a meeting you went to, $61?
$61, yeah. That was Michigan Association of Counties, and they had a couple of issues. I was actually called by county commissioners requesting to go down there, get an update on the dark store, and a couple other issues.
Where was that?
Escanaba.
Escanaba,
Yeah.
okay.
And the gas was the pool car.
Okay.
Yeah. We had to-
And down a little bit further, copy fee, UP office equipment, sharp copier. Was that service on a copier, or was that something they did for us and not service? $385?
Is our per copy fee?
That's a monthly maintenance.
Okay, okay. Down in the police side, we had Mr. Olson go one night forensic training, and then underneath it says there's another bill for forensic training expense reimbursement. One was $79, one was $34. I see the one was for lodging. What was the other one for? Was that actually for the class, or what was it? $34.23.
I'm not sure.
No idea. Okay.
It probably includes the class, but I'll have to double check.
And then on page 2, Department of Public Works, third item down, 2CS Coffee. We buy coffee for the Public Works Department. I knew we bought it for the administration. Third item. Page 2.
Right. We had in the past, so.
And then on page 4, down midway on the electric meet and hunt for compliance, is that the last bill for that permit? $37.92.50? It says
No.
six,
No, that's-
620, is that?
No, we have an annual, contract, and there's a number of items that we have to
So there's
perform.
another bill for that compliance permit coming?
Oh, yeah, we have a number of items for compliance.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a series of compliance issues we have to deal with through the year.
Okay.
I had that same question. So was that for licensing or?
Yeah, that's per our 30-year license. Each year, we have a number of requirements, and each year we have Mead and Hunt assist us in meeting those requirements.
Is it the paperwork and stuff?
Yeah, it's paperwork. They're not so much engineering, but there's coordination, and there is some dealing with FERC. They have they do this on a regular basis in working with them on reports.
And we've done that every year.
Yeah, every year we have them. That cost goes up and down depending on how much we have to do that year.
Okay.
That's all I have, Doc.
Mr. Menegini?
Yeah, page 4, halfway down, Guardian Pest Solutions, insect spider control, hydro, $70. In the past, that's been like over $300. Are we winning the war against them little suckers, or?
We actually switched to a new pest control company, and they're cheaper.
Well, quite
I don't
a
like the
bit.
word cheaper, they're less expensive.
Less expensive, oh,
Yeah.
that's quite a bit, that's good. And one other problem, I shouldn't say problem, I don't have a problem with this, but it's curiosity, I don't remember in the past, under fire department, lodging for the UP firefighters tournament, I see where we picked up the bill from, have we done that every year? We do, okay. I couldn't remember, I figured we did, and I have no problem with picking that up anyway. That's all I have.
And Pete, I just found out today that that amount is gonna be a lot less because not as many went and stayed, so the lady called me today and we're gonna have a refund coming back on that.
We're saving all kinds of money.
How did they do?
I don't know.
Fire
I think
department.
they have-
Haven't heard anything,
Oh.
anything at all. West Iron's won, I don't know how many years in a row.
Mrs. Brew, any other questions?
Yeah, Mark brought it up, one of the questions. Thank you.
We need a motion to approve manifest 2016-14.
I make a motion, we approve manifest 2016-14 in the amount of $528,680.99.
Support.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes?
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes. Would anybody in the audience like to address the council on any agenda item? This is for agenda items.
Yes, I just have a comment. That's, that manifest, I don't have a copy of it. However, you're spending like $500,000. That's a lot higher than your past manifests. What was the major cost difference, like from the last manifest?
Mary?
On this manifest, there was $273,683. That was taxes we collected on behalf of the other taxing units,
Okay,
the school, the county, and then we paid them.
thank you.
Gerald McCall, Channing, Michigan. I'd like to speak to you for a few minutes about the senior citizen millage.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, could you say?
Gerald McCall from Channing, Michigan. I introduced myself. Probably my Aunt Catherine Ducharme spent many years teaching the second grade. Lead to where he probably got some sore knuckles because of it. And he deserved it after that. Anyhow, I'm not here to add more taxes to the people you govern. I hope that with the information given you so far, that I do have your attention. I'll be going to Norway Township and Waseda Township next Monday with the same little speech. I refer you to the copy of the Dickinson County millage of .25 and .15, which all of the Dickinson County has been collecting since about 1990. Now, I would ask you to read the two words "and programs," which gave complete control of millions of dollars to Dixon instead of the senior centers through 2016. Now, this was done with the approval and actions of all 5 Dixon County commissioners at their annual budget meetings. Now, I'll also refer you to the next copy $60,610. This being $21,790 in the city of Norway, $21,790 in Norway Township, and $17,030 in Waseda Township. Now, my request is that someone representing all three governments, along with representatives of the Norway Vulcan Senior Center, appear at these budget meetings and request that all senior millage dollars be given directly to the Norway Vulcan Center, and they would have full control over it. Now, this would occur again in 2018, and then the Dickinson County millage will die. And then the honest and smarter people will ask for new senior millage. And this time, it will be for separate millages, such as the one we proposed that we put together for the November 8, 2016 ballot. So that the wording that you want to be looking for 2 years down the line. I will tell you right now, this year, for the first year, your John DeGainer is completely behind this, and he will be right there when it comes to county budget time. And I know the seniors will be going up this time, and I'm sure we're going to get the cooperation of the township and Waseda. So that's all I'm asking is that you put this together. Nothing new. This is just the old stuff that the seniors in Norway haven't been getting. It's been going elsewhere, and they really need it now because they're on their own and doing well, and they need this to keep going with it. Thank you.
So I have a couple questions. There's a 40 cent per thousand millage already on there now, and you're looking for another 40?
No? You don't want to put anything more on there. Actually, all we want is to get that.
Get control of the millage that's already here.
There now for the next two years. Then that will die. They'll probably try to put it back on another ballot, the whole county, with them 2 words in it. Because those 2 words, they've just taken millions of dollars from the seniors for their own operation.
So you're just interested in changing the wording, no extra millage, and getting control of the millage that's already in place?
Changing the wording when it comes up.
For the
again,
ballot.
And actually, I would hope that by that time it's straightened out, that instead of countywide, it'll be Norway Vulcan will have theirs, the Dickinson County Mountain Unit will have theirs, Kingsford will have theirs. So it'll be all individual. So all the money that is raised in comes right down to where it belongs, and the county is not involved with distributing it.
So making it clear for everybody that's going to see it on TV, it's just controlling where the money is being spent locally,
Right.
correct?
Right.
Okay.
But the request that's on for tonight is above and beyond that.
No.
That's what it was explained to me, is that county millage is already approved and on, and then this additional request is above that.
No, we don't want, they don't want, nobody wants to put additional requests on.
But that's what will happen. That's the way that the request is. It's a separate request. So you have the county's request.
At 40 cents.
At 40 cents, and then you have the Norway's request at 41 cents.
The county request is there, that's being paid, that's not being voted on,
They're still gonna collect it from us though.
Oh, yeah, this would be new, and we
Right.
really do not want to put that on the November ballot. You don't want any new taxes.
I don't want to mislead anybody watching, no, because the agenda item is the resolution for the Norway Senior Center, 0.41 mils. That is a separate request from the county's request.
Yes, but they do not want that now.
Well, it's already there, though. That's in place for 2 more years. We're already,
What's there.
What's there is gonna be there.
Is there, and
so this is
they
additional.
just want to have control of that money, this $60,000, instead of going to the commissioners giving it to DICSA automatically, they want to appear at the budget hearing, and they want that $60,000 to come to them, and they will decide whether they give it to anybody else, or that
When is the budget meeting?
It'll be coming up in the 2017 budget hearings will be coming up in the next couple of months. Usually,
They're-
the county sets the
Yeah,
schedule on it.
their fiscal year starts October 1st, so they usually have their budget hearings in September.
The way that it's
And you really
explained,
don't-
the
you
way,
really don't want anything new on here. There'll be enough new on it. Remember, I felt it for them to really get the pass like the veterans know, that veterans knowledge and stuff. And you really don't want this year, if they get that $60,000, they won't have to worry about this for 2 years. If they could work that into the 2 years.
because the way it's explained to us in our packet here is that the county is getting 40 cents per thousand, and you're looking to put on through the city another 41 cents, so that would make a millage of 81 cents total. So that's what we're getting, that's what we're seeing when we look at our paperwork here.
Okay, well, I would hope that you can vote that down, that you will not put that on there.
Does the senior citizen need a resolution from the council to request that the county appropriate the money collected by that millage for the local unit?
I don't understand the question, but
Are you requesting that the city council have a resolution supporting this idea that the money that's being collected go to the local
I don't
senior
believe
citizen?
it would take a resolution. I just believe it would take somebody from Norway and the other two governing units to go with this, the seniors from the senior center to the budget hearings. And I'm, along with John DeGator being on there, that to see to it that money does not go the way it has been in the past, that it comes right directly to the senior center.
Grant, what are you recommending we do? You know what he's looking for, and you know what we have in our packet.
Yeah, because do you see the letter from, who's Dennis Stanford?
Right, well, and I'm seeing a couple different, I'm kind of getting some,
This right here from Dennis, do you know who Dennis Stanford is?
Yes, I do. He's the president of the,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we have in our packet a
'Cause-
resolution for an additional 40 cents per $1,000.
I understand that, but during the course of the, since that letter came out, they really want to rescind that. They don't want to.
So they don't want us to do nothing?
No, they want you to really do nothing right now, except stand behind them as they go after the $60,000 that they should have been getting all these years.
Okay, because
But you want to realize that they're on their own now, they have been forced to go on their own, and they're running their own operations separate. They're contracting directly with, for meals and everything else. And they need more money. It costs them, say, $9, $10 for one of them meals with all the rent and everything else. And they're only charging $5, so they got to get to their $5 someplace. They're getting some of it working out, hopefully with a contract with Upcap over there. And then the other is they have to have some senior minimum staff.
So you're not looking to put anything on the
No,
ballot?
we're looking not to put anything on the November ballot.
What do you recommend we do, Grant, to get our viewpoint across to Dixa?
well, if it's the council's pleasure to support the Norway Senior Center in that regard, frankly, I don't think I know enough about, I've learned a little bit about what's been going on at the senior center from some of the comments in the past that came before the city council. I think all the city council members expressed their support for our local Norway City Senior Center and recognize how important it is to our community and especially the seniors that are utilizing it. You know, along with Dr. Hayes, if the council wants to express their support for the Norway Senior Center, if that's their pleasure, you can do so. I think that may help. But maybe more importantly is joining with some of these folks at the board meeting and actually being there to lend your support or drafting correspondence or showing your support in different ways. Frankly, it's up to the council. I don't know enough about the dynamics of the details of it to say or to provide any further counsel to the council because I'm just getting up to speed on some of the issues that are facing the Norway Senior Center. And it sounds like other senior centers in the area as well. And looking through this millage, it sounds like it's a moot point at this point. I was looking through some of the statutory language, was more of my concern, and whether or not the council could get involved or not, and looking at the statutes itself, but it's a moot point at this point as well.
Thank you. We'll discuss this further when it comes up on the agenda.
Thank you.
Which is next on the agenda. So, I don't know, since the president is here, would you like to add any comments, or?
Want to know if you want to add any comments?
Okay, good.
And you're with him on the understanding now, you're not requesting to have anything put on the November 8th ballot? Okay.
I'd just like to make a comment on this, Doc. I read it all, and obvious it's a coincidence, but it seems strange to me that it would raise the $21,790 in the city and the exact amount in the township.
Pretty close,
Right to the
yeah.
dollar, you know, that surprised me. But here, which did not surprise me, in that first letter from Dixa signed by Sandra Essendrup, the purpose of this meeting was to discuss, this is from August 31st of 2015. The purpose of this meeting was to discuss the distribution of the 2016 Dickinson County Senior Millage funding of approximately $393,000, less, and this is the part that got me, estimated 8% county administration for a cost of $31,000. That seems awful high. To distribute that kind of money for, that's almost 10%. That seemed awful high to me. I'm not sure I know everything that's involved in it, but that seemed high. That's all I have to say on it.
So as of right now, the senior center is getting $27,000 for operation?
No.
That, they got $27,000, yes.
But actually, we're collecting the 60-some thousand dollars between Norway, Vulcan, and Waseda?
You're collecting that, yes,
But they're not receiving
but they're
that
not
amount?
receiving it. It's going elsewhere.
Well, it seems to me that we would want to do a resolution, but it would be a little premature to do anything tonight. I think we should look into this and maybe speak to Mr. Degner, our representative, and see what we should do as far as support of these ideas, if that's what we want to do.
I think we need to do whatever we can for the senior center, and I think everybody else, from what I'm hearing, is in the same boat with me. And maybe we should invite Mr. Degner here for the next meeting, and we can ask him some questions and give him our thoughts. What do you think of that?
Good, but I do. We have to remember he's one of 5 votes on the county board.
Yes, and then, you know, maybe we can pick somebody to go represent us.
Well, he represents us.
Well,
We're
I
on the
mean,
county
to go
board.
with these people here and
Right.
just to show support.
But I think that's the right call, is because he is our representative on the county board, and so, you know, it's, I think having him come.
Bring him here.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe put it on the TV that, you know, which meeting he's gonna be here, and so if there's any seniors that have anything to say, they can come and ask him.
Would you be in charge of inviting
Yeah.
Mr. Degner?
Yes, I will coordinate with Mr. Degner.
Is there any other comments or questions?
And then can you get to us when the budget meeting is gonna be, when you know?
Yeah, it's not gonna be till September, I don't believe, so.
And then
but
maybe
we'll
to
let
have
you know.
Grant kind of look this over, make sure whatever we do is legal to do.
Sure.
Any other comments or questions on this before we move on? If not, we'll go to item 7, approval of local street paving project bids. Mr. Anderson.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we've worked through our budget hearings, and as I mentioned during the course of the summer, we went out to, prepared ourselves and went out to bid for a crush and shape project on 3 different roadways. The roadways are 14th Avenue from south right-of-way, 14th Avenue at the intersection of Hill Street, and through the intersection up through, and then 16th Avenue. Basically 16th Avenue, top of the hill from Main Street, all the way through to TB Hill Road. The language, I was reading the language in the report, and that's actually what came out of the bid documents, but I think it's just a little easier to say it that way. Curry Road, we're going from basically Pine Creek Road to just about Ingalls Road. It's about 300 feet before Ingalls Road. And then on Perny Lane, we're going to go just north of Summit Road. There's a pavement marking or separation where the old or previous project stopped. We're going to go that up to just about 1,500 feet from south of Warner Lane. We had two contractors bid on the project, and Baco Construction was the low responsive bidder of $393,000.50. Payne and Dolan out of Gladstone also bid. They were considerably higher, also at 50 cents. I'm not sure where the 50 cents came from. It's kind of unusual they both had 50 cents. But we're recommending to move forward with Baco Construction at $393,000. I just want to mention that we did appropriate 500. Of course, we had engineering costs out of that, and so council has some room to work with. We would award the project, and then council can decide on if they want to just leave it at that or some other options. We did talk about that 14th Avenue storm, which we bid last fall, which was considerably higher than what we expected. We do anticipate that project to come in under $50,000, so you would have a lot of room to work with to work that project. So, but that probably is not going to come for till the next meeting.
That's down by Strawberry Lake?
Yeah, that's the one that goes up the hill.
I think that's a good project. We've been fighting with that for a long time, and it seems like the asphalting price is relatively reasonable right now. And I
Yeah, we
think,
got a good price on the asphalt. That's for sure.
and I think we should try to take care of that, get that problem off of our plate.
But we gotta wait on the bid for that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Now that 393, I know we budgeted 500,000. What was the engineering cost on that?
25,000.
25,000, so we're
So
still
you have
under.
475, yes.
Okay.
I just find it hard to believe that there's $164,000 difference. I'm not complaining that they're coming in at that price, but that's a big spread.
The engineer's estimate, we couldn't get too aggressive on the pavement price, the cost of asphalt, and they came in with a really, really nice number. I think it was $58 a ton. That's a real good number. So that's part of it, a good part of it. And I think that they were motivated. They wanted to be in town. That's for sure. Yeah.
Just so Lee knows, a lot of times in those bids, it depends where their plants are set up and how far they gotta haul. Sometimes, if it's not convenient for them to have a plant that's fairly close, because they got a lot of work somewhere else, that's reflected in their price. That's one of the reasons you see spreads in that sometimes.
Well, I looked through the specs on both of them, and almost every one was different, where Baco had them by quite a bit.
Well, I'm certainly happy that a local contractor came through for the city. We need a motion to approve the contract with Baco.
I make a motion, we approve the Baco Construction crush and shape paving project not to exceed $393,000.50.
Support.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
No, and I'll tell you why. During budget hearings, I felt it was more important to take that $500,000 out of the electric department and put it on our unfunded liability on pension. And it comes down to priorities, and that was my number one priority, is getting that unfunded liability down.
Now for the audience, anyone like to make a comment on any subject, please come to the podium. State your name and address for the record.
Rosemary Schultz, 221 Belchertown Road, Norway, Michigan. I don't want to pretend that I know how to run a city or what's involved, but I have a few things bothering me. The electric bill. Why can't it just be a simple electric bill? $5 single fee service. Nobody knows what that is. Why should we have to fund low-income people, forced to pay 98 cents a month, ain't much, but with all the houses in Norway, it sure adds up. Are you really paying somebody else's bills? Is there a paper trail we can follow? Don't know. $2 energy optimization charge, $20 readiness to serve 2 times on the bill. I think our electric bill is very expensive. I would like to change over to We Energy. That dam has become a very expensive project. Also, you purchased a farm out on Kimberly Road, I understand. Why and at what cost? That big biking casting statue out in the hall. I like the boats coming into the city, looks very nice. I like the spring, looks very nice. That big biking, at what cost? Why? I don't think it's cheap. Was it a gift? Okay, and now I have one other thing to say. Mr. Anderson, our city cannot afford the wages you are getting, and I would like to see Mr. Anderson replaced if his contract comes due. Thank you.
Well, you should respond to a couple of, I'd like to respond to the farm. We did purchase some land from Mr. Anderson, so we could have all our property around Marion Park, including the golf course, be annexed into the city. So that isn't helping the city right now, but I can almost guarantee you that in the future it's going to help the city. It's made the city a lot larger, and we can expand. We can have some nice homes out there. Plus, our police now can patrol Marion Park, the ball diamonds, the soccer fields, and the golf course. Those
Is
are now.
anybody using the farm at this time?
Well, we
Like
didn't
for
buy
hunting or anything?
we didn't buy the whole farm. We just bought enough land so we could annex the city property. And that was the whole point of that. We didn't buy it for, and we're in the process of evaluating selling the land back for what we paid for it. But now, because now we've used the land to allow us to annex that whole.
As a landlord, whenever my tenants move out, leave me with a bill, I always come in and pay it. The city told me at one time, because I said, why don't you just collect from them? You're not in the business to collect from them. Another time I was listening to a city council, and one of the council members said, well, we're not in the business to be doing blah, blah, whatever it was. Now, are you a business or are you not a business? Little contradiction there. But anyways, I always pay my landlord, my renters' bills if they're left unpaid. I don't like the fact that they can sign up for internet, high speed, TV, and telephone. Why should I have to pay for that? That's not a necessity like electricity, water, sewer. I don't think I should have to pay that part of the bill. I'd like to see something change there. Thank you.
Well, these people will have a bill with somebody. I can guarantee you that if you went with We Energies, your electric bill would be higher. The city generally still has very inexpensive electricity compared to We Energies and other energy.
I was told by a council member that it was almost the same price.
Well, I can guarantee
Like
you.
I said, I don't know how to run a city, I don't know what, I just wanted to voice my concerns.
And we
Thank
appreciate, it's good to come forward, but just to explain that the city bill for a city charge for electricity is less than We Energies. And we're presently in the process of looking to annex other city residents who aren't on city power to have the advantage of being on city power. And I guess we could eliminate all those little prices that are on there, but that's exactly where your energy money is going to. And it's not just for the cost of the electricity, which again is less than We Energies.
I also heard that a lot of other things are paid out of the energy money fund.
For instance, the paving that's going to be done is coming out of the electric fund. The electric fund supports a lot of programs in the city, and it still is able to sell electricity at a competitive rate at less. So having that dam, having our own electric department means a lot for that city, because we either take money out of taxes. Right, we either take money out of taxes or utilities to pave our streets, to do whatever we're doing, whatever money we spend. So having that power plant has allowed us to have lower taxes.
Well, if it's feasible, keep it. If it's not, dump it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all I
feasible.
want to say. And also, when I came in to pay my tax bill, I never noticed it between my rental and my house, but you pay an administration fee to come in and pay your taxes that you have to pay. If your house is worth $100,000, you're going to pay more than if your house is $50,000 for the administration fee. Doesn't it cost the same no matter what your house costs?
I agree with
I'd
that.
rather just see that in the taxes than looking at me the way it's put.
Mr. Anderson, do you have any comments on any?
No, the actual rate between the city and the We Energies in 2015, this is an actual number, is 40% cheaper. That's an actual number. That's it.
And it would be nice to simplify the bills, but I think some people want to
Well,
see
the-
the
it- the-
various monies.
Yeah, the issues she brought up, the energy optimization and the the heating EO or the 98 cents, those are state mandated. We've argued that for 3 years now, 3 or 4 years. So that's state mandated. And, you know, the issue is in Lansing, you know, we have to send that down there.
And you'd pay the same thing if you were at We Energies, as far as those items are
I have
concerned.
one more question. As a landlord, is it legal for me to tell my renters that they cannot have internet, they have to get it elsewhere? They cannot have telephone, they have to get it elsewhere? They cannot have TV, they gotta get it elsewhere? Is that legal? I could get a lawyer and find out, but maybe easier to ask you.
That's what I would advise you to do, ma'am, is
Pardon?
contact, I'd advise you to contact a lawyer and explain the whole situation to them and chat with them.
If I have any more trouble, I certainly will. Right now, I have a good renter, thank you.
You bet.
Anybody else in the audience like to make a comment?
Jean Bradford, 465 Travis Farm Road. I have a question. Last meeting, we talked about the cost to the electricity being extended to a project area. I think the cost was $18,000 and try to recoup that. How did that come about that that money was put forth versus the property owner paying for that extension, such as I had to do?
Mr. Anderson or?
Well, from my recollection, that was a discussion that we had at the council level. And that was a decision that council made at that time, that we would be reimbursed when those properties sold. And that was strictly to keep our territory, because We Energies was at the top of the hill with Norway Mountain. So I think that was the discussion at the time with the council, and the council agreed to move forward with it in that basis.
Was that voted on?
Yeah, but it was an extremely sloppy contract, as far as I'm concerned, because I voted no, and I always did think it was a bad idea, but it's done. And we got to try to recoup that, and I think Mr. Carlson's working on that for us right now.
Okay. Then, I have a couple other questions. I know I'm only have 5 minutes.
Our clock isn't working.
Pardon me?
Our clock isn't working.
We moved to Norway in 2002.
Well, typically you replace the meter when they're bad, or when you replace and upgrade your technology. The old meters, if they still have life value, we sell them or try to find a buyer. Or if they're not working, they get recycled.
Well, Mr. Anderson, I was at the last meeting, and the discussion was, when do you replace the meters with the new energy updated ones? The answer was, you asked the question, Dr. Hayes. The answer was when the meters are no longer functioning.
Or when you
The
change it.
meeting was on Monday. The following day, Tuesday, the Norway City Electric Department was at my house, and I have a brand new meter. They did not knock on the door. They just came and shut the service and switched it out. Just took a little bit of time. I think it would have been, Travis Farm Road is a city road. My house is 400 feet off Travis Farm Road. They came onto private property to change out that meter. It is your meter, but I think a courtesy, somebody should have knocked on the door to let me know that they were changing it. And if I had any questions, I could have asked them. But anyway, I think what we're told at the council meeting and what was fact did not work out. And Ms. Schultz talking about the property was purchased for $145,000, that Spring Farm. How much acreage was that?
I don't recall, it was the minimum amount that we needed to annex the property. We didn't buy the whole farm, we just bought.
No, but how much property did you buy?
I'm not sure at this time.
I don't want to give you a number, because if I'm exactly wrong, then you'll bring it up. So I'd rather find out. I know that it's somewhere in the range of 28 acres, but
Okay, and from the time it was purchased, then you redid Kimberly Road after that. Have there been any other improvements regarding that property?
no, we brought it up a number of times, but nothing moved forward.
So it's just vacant land sitting in here,
Right.
like a future investment?
Well, it's still subdivided, and it's still on the market for sale.
But nothing is sold?
Nobody has come forward yet to request purchase.
Okay. And then I guess a final question. I used to attend the meetings quite frequently last year, and then when I went away, the golf course owed the general fund like $130,000. Was that ever paid?
I think we're in the process, aren't they?
They're in the process through
They're
the
making
agreement we have.
payments.
So it is not paid as of today? Is the
Not that I-
golf course making a profit?
I believe that they are carrying their own at this point. I mean, this is the first year that they're running the operations.
Are we still buying golf carts for them?
No, we have nothing to do with that at this point.
Okay, so we're totally separate. Then the golf course does not have to come before the council for like major equipment purchases?
No, we are out of the golf business.
Okay. Well, I think I've taken my 5 minutes.
Thank you for your comments
you.
and questions.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the audience like to ask any questions or make a comment? If not, we'll go to the council. Mrs. Brew, any comments or?
I was gonna ask Mary, how did the billings go, this last time? Did we have any problems?
We're still working on it. They just read the meters last Wednesday, Thursday, then loaded the handheld Thursday. Had a few misreads. We went back out today for them. We had 120 roughly electric meters, new AMI meters in the system. We had, now the computer basically reads them. We had 40 roughly that did not come in on reads, and they were working on it on their end. They could not find anything on our end, but they were gonna work on it today and felt that they would just be able to get those reads tomorrow. I don't know if it was a he installed looked great from what they told us, but, it looks a lot better than it did last month.
And what, we put in 120 of them new ones?
I think there's 120 roughly electric meters, and I don't know, we had them stop during the meter reading process, because we had to put them all on the computer, and I believe now they're starting up again and they'll work on it this month.
And we do have people going down to training to help with the new
Yes.
building system.
Right after Labor Day, I don't remember the dates, but I have 2 girls going down for a 2-day, it's like a users group, so there's other people there that are using the same building.
Any other questions?
Yeah, and then Ray, I don't know if this is happening at every house, when these gentlemen are going in to change these meters out, they probably should be knocking on the door, letting people know that they're there and what they're doing, so people are aware of what's going on.
Or if they got an email, we can email them.
A lot of elderly people don't have
Right.
email and,
I'm being somewhat facetious.
okay.
Not very good. Mr. Babalani, any questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a couple. I had problems with mine, issues there. Hopefully we got that resolved on the meter billing. Haven't seen any reports for the departments lately,
Well,
what
this
they've
last,
been working on.
yeah,
I didn't see
the
anything
last
here.
month, it's the first of the month. They don't bring them in until about the 10th of the month, so you get them on the 2nd.
Okay, because last month I didn't, we had 2, I think the wastewater, Mr. Schaefer had his, but we didn't have one for DPW, and I'm not sure we had one on the electric side.
Okay.
Progress still being made on the mine pit situation?
We're working
Working on it?
on it, yeah.
I noticed that with the storms, we're having some brushing problems. Hopefully, when the electric department gets caught up, we can try to stay ahead of the game so we're not hiring that out if possible. That's all I have. Oh, the other thing I'd like to see is somebody take a look in front of the city hall. Them trees are way out of control. They're covering up a lot of the windows. It's looking a little bit rough out front by the police department windows. That's all I have.
Mr. Menegini?
I have nothing.
I'd like to remind people that if anyone's interested in looking at the Norway Hill area, we're supposed to meet at the top of the hill this Thursday at 5 o'clock. I'd particularly like to invite Mr. Babalani to come along just to see what's there, how many pits there are, how much fencing there is, how much brushing there'd have to be. I think it's an absolute waste of time that our crew is up on the hill brushing that pit. They're gonna do a little bit in one spot, maybe it'll make the mine inspector happy, but there is so much to do. We need a grant to do this, and anything we do is not gonna get reimbursed. So I would suggest that we don't do any brushing. The city crew is supposedly very thin. We have lots of projects to do. I think we're wasting our time up there. I think we need to go look at the property, decide what we want to do with it, and then look for grants to help us, because there is an awful lot of area up there. There's a lot of fences that need to be replaced or even put up. There's large areas where there's no fencing at all anymore, so there's nothing to brush. And then the question is, what do we need to do? So again, I think it's a waste of time to send a crew up to do something that at this time nobody's using. And if the mine inspector wants it brushed, I think he should go up and brush it. I don't think he has any authority to do anything to us, and I think it's a waste of time and effort. We've got lots of other things to do.
Well, I think that, again, we got a lot of stuff to do, but I don't know our legalities. Maybe Grant needs to look at that, if that's how you feel, Doc, to make sure that we're in compliance with whatever we do or do not do.
And I'd like to see that area developed. We've got, I don't know, what do we have up there, a couple, 150 acres, or Mr. Anderson, do you know offhand how much?
I don't know offhand.
As far as the developing, Doc, I think we got better property that's more marketable with lesser
I'm not looking to put
expense.
houses up there. I'm looking to make it into recreation, that mountain biking, hiking trails. There's the Bat Caves up there, there's a spring. There's a lot of area that's just sitting there vacant, and to just put money into an area, just to say that we put money into it, to me doesn't make any sense. If we're gonna put money into the area, let's get something out of it, let's develop it into some, it's certainly not good for housing up there. I don't think there's any land on that that would be good for housing. But I've talked to Mr. Carlson, and he knows people that are interested in mountain biking. There's lots of rooms for trails up there. We do have access over through the land that was kept over to Valley View. We've got a fair amount of land. There's lots of space to do something up there. So before we start spending money on it, I think we ought to come up with a plan rather than just start throwing money at it and saying, well, we got to make the mine inspector happy. So I don't know that the mine inspector has any authority to make us or fine us or do anything, but again, I think it's a waste of time until we come up with viable projects. Like I said, there's lots of pits up there that have no fencing on it, dilapidated fencing, and I think before we spend any time and effort on it, we need to decide what we're going to do. If we don't want to do anything, then we don't have to do anything. But I think there's potential there for something, and I think we should at least get something out of the effort rather than a happy mine inspector.
Well, again, Doc, I think we should check our legalities with Mr. Carlson, and if we have to, we need to do whatever we need to do to keep in compliance. And I do think before we start adopting more trails and more recreational areas, we need to take care of the recreational areas that we have. Via Strawberry Lake, I think it needs a lot of work around the walking trail, and it's used on a daily basis heavily. And I do think that if we're going to be investing money in anything, we need to invest money into things that are going to give us money back, tax money, and develop other areas if we have the funding. That's my
Again, my
thoughts.
response would be that there's no point in investing any money into the area if we're not going to do anything up there. There's no point in investing money in to make the mine inspector happy. People use that area now, so I don't know what the rest of the council thinks. But I know that's my thought, that we're wasting effort up there if we haven't got a plan. So that's one of the reasons I want these people to go look at the area and see what they think about what can be done up there and what should be done.
Grant, would that take a lot of effort to look at our legalities with the mine inspector? And
No, Mark, I think I could probably track that down relatively quickly for the council's direction. You know, I certainly hear what Doc's saying, and I think the frustration of the council's been echoed in the past regarding having to spend money up there, but I think the mine inspector was clear as well that we got to put some money into it to get in compliance with his requirements as well. But I'd be happy to look into it, and maybe Ray and I can reach out to the mine inspector as well and find out if there are some grants available that could help defray some of these costs, because we do have to make sure that it's safe as well, and it maybe plays into it a little bit, but certainly hearing the frustrations of council as well, and also the concerns.
Can I say something?
Please.
Marcia Gulsock, 209 Brown Street. I'm on the Parks and Rec Committee, and we're looking, there are grants out there for the mine area to reclaim the mine area that they're underutilized, so there's a lot of money out there just to reclaim the land around the mines. Can't use it for anywhere else, couldn't use it down by Strawberry Lake or out at Marion Park. But because those are mines, there is grants available for us. That's why we want to go look at it and see if it's feasible to put a bike trail up there, walking trails up there. So that way, at least, then I can see where Doc's saying, if we're gonna do all this work, or we are granted the grants, why would we put the money ahead to do what the mine inspector says, but yet we have to probably stay in compliance with that. But that's where we're looking to get the money from, would be mine, to reclaim the mine area. So, I mean, there's a lot of money out
do you know if the grants are matching? Because if it's a grant and it's paid in full and we don't have to match it, it's okay. But I mean, if we have to take money out of our different funds
Oh, I
to
understand.
match
I
that we
understand.
don't wanna put
We're
there,
just- right
then the
now-
grants are no good to us.
Right, and right now, we're just looking to see if it's even feasible before we even look at any more grants. But we do know there are grants out there to do it. So, you know, we haven't looked into anything specific yet. It's just that when we found out that there was money to reclaim the land around the mines, we thought, well, you know, maybe we could use something to clean up that area and do something with it. So we haven't gotten that far yet, but our first step is to just see if it's even feasible and if there's anything that we can do.
I'm okay with looking at it, but I don't, you know, if we have to match the grants with money that we don't have, I don't think it's a good idea. But if the grants are free,
Yeah.
let's go for it.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten, like I say, we haven't gotten that far yet, but we just wanna check it out and see if there even is any way to do it. You know, just by look, I've never been up there. I've lived in Norway my whole life and I've never been up there, so this will be a chance for me to even see it, and you never know what's gonna come out of it, but I just wanted to let you know that,
Okay.
you know, it's not gonna come out of the electric fund or the Parks and Rec or, anywhere else, just so. you
Okay,
have an idea.
thank you.
One last comment, quite often grants do require a match, and a match can be in-kind labor. We've got equipment, we can do some of the work, some of the brushing, some of the fencing, some of the trail building, whatever it is as an in-kind, but if we do it all ahead of time, then you can't use that
Right.
labor for in-kind match. So, like I said, I think before we get too involved in this project, we should know what we're going after, and instead of just throwing money at a project because the mine inspector said we should. And it's been the same mines that have been there since the, probably 1920, for almost 100 years. A lot of those are some of the original mines, I believe, in the area. And they've been there all this time. I don't know of any, hasn't sucked any children in yet that I'm aware of.
As long as I'm here, I do have a question. Where do we come out after the 125?
We'll know in September.
Oh, okay.
They're having one more meeting, and they have to pay off their final bills, and they'll let us know in September.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments from anybody? Mr. Carlson, or Trish, or Mary? Anybody?
No,
If not,
thank you.
then we need a motion to be adjourned.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Support.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Dr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.